Fiona Apple was just 18 years old in July of 1996 when she released her debut album, Tidal, a collection of slow, disarmingly honest songs about love and self-determination that propelled her to stardom and redefined what it meant to be a teenage pop singer. Possessed of a strong vision for herself and her music, Apple had been writing songs since middle school. Though she never performed live, she signed with manager-producer Andy Slater on the strength of her homemade demo. And the two would collaborate to showcase her poetic lyrics and throaty alto, creating a fusion of two of Apple's greatest inspirations, hip-hop and jazz singers. Shadowboxer, the album's lead single and Apple's debut release, reflects her jazzy sound and self-protective sensibility far more than the song for which she would soon become known. Apple taught herself to play piano with The Real Book, a famous compilation of standards by artists like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald. I would teach myself a song that I'd never heard before, she told a MuchMusic interviewer, and then I'd go out and I'd buy the albums to see if I got the song right or if I totally screwed it up. Slater's production framed Shadowboxer as a torch song, worthy of Apple's unwitting teachers, pushing her smoky voice and passionate key pounding to the top of the mix.
Once my lover, now my friend. What a cruel thing to pretend.
Though it wasn't particularly representative of Apple's songwriting, it was The Smoldering Criminal that broke Apple big, becoming her best-known song. Cobbled together in 45 minutes to satisfy Sony's demand for a hit, it was driven in part by Mark Romanek's music video, which found Apple lounging half-dressed in scenes of listless debauchery. The press was hard on Apple from the start. Reviews like a New York Magazine blurb that called Tidal "Bad Joni Mitchell performed at a Dalton mixer" were common, but Criminal elicited derisive comments about the body and sexuality of a young musician who'd spoken openly about being a rape survivor. Janeane Garofalo recorded a skit mocking the eating disorder she assumed the singer had and criticizing the video for making girls feel fat. When an interviewer played her the clip, Apple admitted that Garofalo was absolutely right, then composed a poem in the style of Shadowboxer that ended with the stinging couplet, "I be a paradox of gestures and jeans, but you are a cowardly bitch, Janeane." The only song from Apple's demo that made it onto Tidal was Never Is a Promise, a delicate piano ballad embellished with melodramatic Hollywood strings from legendary Brian Wilson collaborator Van Dyke Parks. Apple had written the song at age 16, while smarting from the news that the first man she'd ever slept with was interested in someone else, and one can feel her growing shrewder with every verse. At a performance shortly after the album's release, Apple explained that Never was a song about having faith in what you want for yourself.
See eye to eye, but never is a promise, and you can't afford to lie.
The same faith in her own vision seemed to propel Apple to the MTV Video Music Awards stage in 1997 to accept a Best New Artist Moon Man for Tidal's trip-hoppy opening track, Sleep to Dream, its lyrics written when she was only 14.
I got my feet on the ground and I don't go to sleep to dream. You got your head in the clouds, you're not at all what you seem.
This world is bullshit, she declared to the MTV audience, urging young viewers not to emulate celebrities.
This world is bullshit. And you shouldn't model your life. Wait a second. You shouldn't model your life about what you think that we think is cool and what we're wearing and what we're saying and everything. Go with yourself.
The moment became an inextricable part of Apple's media narrative, reinforcing the bluntness and confidence of Tidal while earning her a reputation as a difficult, divisive artist. It's possible that this influenced fellow VMA rebel Kanye West's well-publicized love affair with her first album, when, in 2005, he shouted it out as an inspiration for his early masterpiece, Late Registration, and in a conversation for Interview magazine, asked Apple, "How is your vocabulary so ill?" In 3 subsequent full-lengths, released at a perfectionist's slow pace, her songwriting and outlook on love matured, and Apple gradually won the widespread respect she'd always deserved. But it was Tidal that carved out her singular niche in the alternative music firmament, an enduring testament to the power of finding and honoring one's voice.